My husband hid $1,500, some insurance payout from me, and he played the whole "I don't have money for gas" victim part. This money is not part of our savings or anything. Anyway, he had been hiding the money for 2 weeks. During those 2 weeks I bought groceries for us, I paid for our takeout food, I offered to pay for his broken windshield, and overall I was concerned about whether or not he had enough money for himself. He saw me struggle to put gas in my truck. He let me pay for his car insurance. He heard my concerns and my offers to help him, and he did not once tell me not to worry. Yesterday I asked him to lend me $20 because a friend invited me somewhere last minute and I didn't have cash. He got really nervous when I asked him if I could borrow his debit card. He started to act strange. I asked him if he was hiding something from me, and he called me crazy and accused me of not believing him. I asked him if he was hiding money from me, and he denied it and said I was paranoid and crazy. He checked his bank account in front of me and acted surprised. He literally shouted, "Wow, wow, wow, I have extra money. Oh my god, this is so awesome." And he played the whole "I didn't know" part. He continued to argue and I told him that I don't care about the money, I care about honesty. Why did he lie? And if he can lie so blatantly about this, then he can lie, or has lied, about many things. It took a whole day for him to finally confess that he was hiding the money from me because supposedly I was going to ask for some money if I knew. He said he felt guilty for not telling about it when he saw me struggle with money. Today I asked him to leave the house. I called him cruel and deceitful. I told him that I don't want to be with someone that can lie so blatantly. By the way, I'm 6 months pregnant with a very wanted and planned baby. We've known each other for 3 years. Am I the idiot for leaving him over this? I'm just so hurt by how easily he lied and called me crazy and paranoid. And now I'm questioning everything in our relationship. Maybe his gym sessions are time that he spends with women. I don't know anything anymore. Not the idiot. But if you guys are going to be married, you need to act like it. I know, to each their own, etc. But this is exactly why I'm a strong advocate of households having household finances and not continuing to live like roommates than have love. You're perfectly within your rights to be pissed off about someone who's supposed to be your teammate deceiving you like this, no question. But it was gonna happen eventually, given the circumstances. Not the idiot. Wow, how devastating to have found all of this out just before you have a child with this man. He outright lied to you and then accused you of being crazy and paranoid when you found out the truth. That is gaslighting and is certainly worrying. It's completely understandable that your reaction was to have him leave at that moment. Marriage counseling is a must in this situation. It will be hard to rebuild a foundation on such shaky ground, but it could be worth a try. Everyone's the idiot here. You're married, living together as one, and you have separate accounts, which can be fine, but it's to the extent one does without because they are broke while the other has plenty. When you get married you live as one. This whole situation is messed up, but you'll be living more as one, and if there are spending problems set a budget, have discussions, etc. You can't live the rest of your life with someone you married knowing they are bad with money and never attempting to do anything about it. When I met my husband, he had a 15-year-old daughter who was for the most part easy to get along with though ridiculously spoiled. His daughter's mother had some mental issues and he was a single dad for most of her childhood. He said he never wanted kids and she had been a result of birth control failure and that he didn't want any more. I told him that not having kids was a deal breaker for me and he quickly reconsidered. His daughter was 17 when our daughter was born and I was shocked at how jealous she was. In general, she is not the clingy emotional type, but she was furious. He made it his priority to make her feel better and reassure her that she was always going to be the important one. My stepdaughter went to college and thrived and we had another child. She wasn't even jealous that time, but he still made a big production of loving her more. Right now our kids are 13 and 15 and my stepdaughter is 32, married with kids and living on her own, but it is still pretty clear that he favors her. They talk on the phone almost daily, but he has a hard time talking to our daughters because they're too emotional. Right now he is visiting his oldest daughter at her beach house and we weren't invited because she hates our 13-year-old. My daughter did go through a phase of being very rude and acting out, but we did therapy and discipline and it is under control right now. I said he shouldn't go see his daughter because it is rude to exclude his wife and kids, and he said he doesn't care if she is rude, she's still his daughter. In the past when the kid said something I made excuses for him. We FaceTimed today and my 13-year-old made a comment about my stepdaughter being his favorite and I just said I'm sorry honey. When the kids got off the phone he got mad at me for not correcting her, but I said I'm not going to lie about it anymore. He has admitted to me in private that she is his favorite, but he says it's not his fault and he can't control how he feels. Everyone's the idiot here. Your husband screws how he treats his two younger daughters and how he gets angry at you. But you should have stepped in with a blatant favoritism immediately when it started, not let it go on for this long. This family dynamic is incredibly messed up and you've let your daughters go through this their entire lives while they had to watch their dad favor their older half-sister. And his daughter is bad just as much for still holding a grudge against a kid who did nothing wrong to her. All the adults are idiots. Everyone's the idiot here. You knew what you were marrying. He'd shown you before you had kids with him. Having said that, she and your husband are entitled to a relationship that doesn't include you and your children. He is her father. She doesn't have a traditional relationship with her half-siblings. If it is a family event, like a wedding, or anything like that, then sure, they should attend. The problem comes from your husband's blatant favoritism, not really on your stepdaughter or daughters. He can't control how he feels, but he can control his actions. Everyone's the idiot here. Your husband screws for being a bad father to his younger daughters. Your stepdaughter screws for being such a brat and also holding animosity against her preteen stepsisters. But you are an idiot for creating the situation and being surprised at this outcome. He made it very clear didn't want any other kids and you used having them as a bargaining chip, no wonder he feels so indifferent about raising and loving them. And your stepdaughter immediately showed her true colors with the birth of your first, so I'm not sure what you expected to change. I won't complicate this. I have a daughter Kara who is not my biological daughter, nor was she my legal daughter until she reached the age of 18 when she asked me to adopt her as an adult. I married my husband when she was 14 and together we have 2 children. Kara gets along okay with my husband. But admittedly her upbringing means she was maybe not as able to bond with a father figure as she was with a mother figure, and her age was also a factor. Regardless, everyone gets along, and I think that is the best you expect when you have someone who went through as much as she did at a young age. Kara is engaged and came to me recently and told me she would like to walk with me down the aisle and do a dance with me while her fiancé dances with his mom. She told me she didn't know how to ask for that without hurting my husband. I told her he would understand and I would be honored to do it. I did not expect my husband and his parents to take offense. They believe she snubbed my husband and is making it seem like he's nothing. After listening to them complain about this for 10 minutes I told them to swallow it up and accept that she asked me, her mom, to do both of those parts of the wedding and that I was proud to do it. I dared them to tell me I was less deserving than my husband. My husband and his parents believe I wasn't very understanding and downright rude, according to my mother-in-law. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot, but I'd like to say I think you're an amazing person. Because of you this lovely young woman who sounds like she had a really horrendous start has been made comfortable enough to love herself and knows she deserves love too, hence getting married. Also sounds to me like you've raised her knowing you fully support and love her, or she would never have had the confidence to tell you how she wants her wedding to go. Adopted or not, you sound like the type of parent every child wants and have the relationship with your child every parent should aspire to have. Not the idiot. In my opinion, being a father and having the privilege of stepping into father roles like walking her down the aisle is earned. It saddens me that you described their relationship as getting along okay. That right there is why she didn't ask him. You didn't say he was a wonderful father. It sounds like he just tolerates her. I honestly think you should reevaluate your relationship with him. My kids are a package deal. If you love me, you love them, and I expect you to act accordingly, as I would your kids. I'm flabbergasted by this. He's a man of some importance in her life. Clearly cares for her and knows and understands her past trauma. And yet somehow, on her wedding day, doesn't seem to recognize that this would be traumatic for her. You're not the idiot, she's not the idiot, but your husband and his parents need to get their heads out of their backs. You have clearly done an amazing job, mama, and truly deserve to share this experience with your daughter. You both rock. I have been with my husband for 4 years. We've always celebrated Christmas at his parents' house. He never let me go celebrate with my family. even though his family lives in another town. He's always complained about wanting his family to come to us instead of going to them. His sister and her husband live near my in-laws, and so they'd usually host a number of events, and this pisses my husband off for no reason. He says his brother-in-law isn't better than him and doesn't even have a big house to invite people there. Clearly, he's jealous of the time his family spends with his brother-in-law. A few days ago he started calling his family a lot but didn't tell me why. He's been acting strange, spending his time making lists and buying stuff like blankets, cups, towels, even though it's just him, me, and our son. I kept asking him, but he said those were for us. He kept asking me to reschedule my shifts. I'm a nurse working at the local hospital, and it's different from a clinic, it's always busy and requires more shifts. Yesterday, I got a call from my mother-in-law, and she surprised me by saying that they decided to come on Tuesday. Her father-in-law, sister-in-law, brother-in-law and their kids, then husband's aunt and her husband and stepchildren, will come on Friday. I was shocked. I had no idea what she was talking about. I was able to find out from her that my husband decided to invite his whole family for Christmas at our house. I didn't make her feel I didn't know. Once I finished the call, I went to ask my husband and he confirmed it. I was livid. This means they will be spending weeks at our house and cooking and cleaning, and groceries will be taking so much. I have a strict schedule, I can't have any guests. He said they wanted this, but I doubted after he brought up how brother-in-law keeps inviting them. I told him to call and tell them we can't have them at our house, and he refused. He said this will make him look bad and will upset them. He told me to calm down and think about it, but it's more people than I can handle. It's crazy. He said if brother-in-law has no issue inviting his family to his small, why can't we? I left the room and couldn't help but feel a lot of anger. I called my mom and she said it was better than having to go to them, but my house will be crowded and I will busy that I won't even be able to work shifts and earn money. Did I overreact here? Not the idiot. Don't change your schedule, work the shifts you need to work. Your husband invited them, he can cook and clean and entertain them. Let him know this is his circus and his monkeys, and you are not going to kill yourself doing all the work for this. Work the shifts you need to work and take whatever personal me time you need in your bedroom, but your hubby is gonna need to do the lion's share of hosting duties, and don't for a second be transferred into any woman's duty crap where everything is your job. Not the idiot. Doesn't let you celebrate holidays with your own family. Invites his whole family over during a pandemic to a healthcare worker's home. He doesn't even tell you. I'll admit, I'm very trigger happy when it comes to the dump him comment, but this at the very least warrants counseling. I agree with other commenters that you should stay at your parents' during this time with your child and let everything fall on his shoulders. He wants to play host, he can go ahead and do it. Seriously? OP needs to call the in-laws and cancel. This is absolutely absurd. We are in a pandemic. People should not be congregating. OP, as a nurse, you have an obligation to be the voice of reason. You are caring for sick people and have a 6-month-old baby. They all need to be educated that not only is this a stupid idea, it's potentially dangerous. OP sounds more bothered by the fact that her husband won't allow her to have holidays with her parents. No one should be traveling anywhere. Everyone stay home and stay safe. My ex-husband goes to school and as such has decided he cannot keep our 2 kids, 2 and 4, overnight ever. We have a custody order that he fought me tooth and nail for 50-50, but he realistically sees them about 6 hours a week during the day because he has class and never at night because he has to study. We have this unofficial arrangement where I won't take him back to court to adjust the custody to a more reasonable schedule for his actual schedule, as long he promises to be done in the next 2 years and finally get that job he has been claiming the university degree will help him get if I just give him time. He swears this area of study is the right one this time. This is his 4th try at college. He has 2 bachelor's degrees and an associate's. He has no job. He has been a full-time student for most of our relationship apart from the 6 months he worked at my workplace, a job I stuck my neck out to get him, but got fired. Anyway, I've been pulling long hours at work and working from home long into the night for the last 6 weeks. I am tired. I had been asking him to take more time so I could catch up on some sleep. He said his class load was too much and that he could maybe do an extra hour or 2 during the day. How long of a nap do you need? But when the kids are gone I do more than just nap. I work, I clean, I run errands I can't take them to. I go to the gym. I pee in peace. I shower without having to ask repeatedly if they are okay from the bathroom. I got tired of it and last weekend told him that I had scheduled a medical procedure for Monday and Tuesday. He was hesitant too because he said he had some studying. He eventually agreed after some nagging from me. I took the time off work. I told the kids mommy is fine and she will see them Wednesday. I packed them snacks and spending money. I made sure they had all they needed and then I checked myself into a hotel downtown and slept. I checked on them occasionally via text with my ex. They were having a tough time of it. I felt bad. But also I needed this. I was going to crack. I didn't pick up any work phone or mess with any work. I drank. I had a drink in an actual bar for the first time in 3 years. I mostly slept and ate food that was awful for me. Tuesday I felt guilty and almost caved and went to sweep up the kids. They called at bedtime wanting me to come get them. Wednesday morning I left feeling refreshed but guilty. What if I had died? What if I really have to have a medical procedure in the near future? I could have told the truth and just asked for a vacation. But then my ex would have not taken the kids. And my workplace might have tried to guilt me into working while I was away. A vacation with the kids wouldn't have even the same. I don't think I am an idiot for taking the time. Am I the idiot for lying though? Everyone's the idiot here. Not for taking the vacation. Not for needing a break. A little for lying, but mostly for not holding your ex responsible for his side of the agreement. Either he pays more for daycare during his times, or he helps care for them. You aren't doing anyone any favors by enabling his bad parenting. Just tell him you can no longer stick to your original agreement about waiting another 2 years because this literally is not sustainable the way he is acting. You are essentially a single parent with a court order saying the opposite. Not the idiot. Why do so many fathers feel that parenting is optional? Moms are stuck, doing the majority of the parenting and working. I know so many women in similar situations, including myself. Just like any other parent, he has to learn to study around the kid's schedule. At 2 and 4 they probably go to bed at a decent time, he can study then, and on the days he doesn't have them. Don't feel guilty, but also don't keep putting up with this crap. Either he takes them as scheduled or take him back to court for a new parenting schedule and an increase in child support. Not the idiot 100%, being a mom is a difficult job even when you have a partner, but your situation is completely different. Self-care is important for you to make sure your kids are being raised by someone who is refreshed and well rested. Sometimes. However, your ex-husband needs to appear in court. No longer should he be allowed to shirk his court-ordered custodial responsibilities. There is a reason judges get involved in these things. Take his back to that courtroom as soon as possible.